if you've just beamed in and you're looking at any of our Facebook pages, or you want a better sound through Facebook page, whether that be Indigenous Ways 501c3 or our IndigiFem page. We've also got our Instagram page that will be beaming this out, and also Twitter and many other sites that this will be going out through. So that's what's going on now. So if you are seeing through us through our social media, welcome. Thanks for being here. And then I'm going to bring you back in, Teresa, in a minute. So now we've just gone past the top of the hour. So let's make a start. Oh, and what I'm going to do is I'm also just going to mute everyone as well, or if you can mute yourselves, that'll be great, so there's no outside background noise. Thank you. So a very good evening to everyone. Thank you so much for beaming in. Just before we make a start in the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle, we want to take this time and this moment to acknowledge the traditional caretakers of these lands that we reside on here in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the Pueblo, and also wherever you're beaming in from at the moment, to acknowledge the traditional caretakers and custodians of the lands that you are on. Thank you so much for taking your time and beaming in with us here at the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle. This is our first time that we'll be beaming out through all our social media sites. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, welcome. Thanks for being here with us. You can go on our website as well if you want to join us. Here's my hero at the moment. If you want to join us live, we're beaming out of the Zoom page. Here is Tash, nice, hot and sweaty, after jam-packing $3,000 worth of foods and supplies as we're going up to Navajo Nation tomorrow. We just want to thank everyone. We started this on Wednesday, so we just want to take this time to thank everyone in doing that. We're going to record our journey. All of these supplies that you kindly donated is going up to Black Mountain and all the families that are up there in Arizona that have no running water or no electricity. So it's a real honor for us to be able to do that. And thank you for supporting us, and also all the people up there on the Navajo Nation that need it. So if this is your first time, you are beaming in to the Indigenous Ways virtual events. Indigenous Ways is dedicated to bringing cultural exchange with people globally. And welcome to the visual events. So what happened on the first week of April, we had all these events sorted. And then with what happened with the pandemic, we went online so we could support all our artists and also presenters. So, and we created the Indigenous Wisdom Circle, where we are right now, the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle. And then on Fridays, we have the Indigenous Ways Concert Circle, a concert series, which is all live performers, from comedians to musicians, the whole works. So for the last 2 months, we've had this extraordinary smorgasbord of wonderful presenters, like our presenter tonight, to also incredible shows. Now, if you want to see them, you can by going into Indigenous Ways, our website, .org, and then go to virtual events, and then you'll see all the recorded events on those pages. So please have a look at them. And what we've been doing is growing this as a online audience. So you've been giving us great feedback of what we need to do and how we need to do it, and we've been doing that. One of the things that really honored to be able to do is make access available. So we have ASL interpreters to all our events. So if you're looking at those videos, you'll see that as well. And here on out, in our June through the end of the year, we'll be having ASL interpreters. So with that, Tash, I know you've just sat down, but would you like to introduce our extraordinary guest tonight and anything else that you want to add? I know you've been busy hauling in the thing and just got in all hot and sweaty. Woohoo!
Yeah, this is great. I'm just really humbled. I'm in shock. Really, it started with Joni Montoya, our sister here in Santa Fe, Hispanic from here, mixed with Mexican and Hispanic and indigenous blood. She said, "Hey, let's help your people." And then from there it started. She started getting stuff, and Mary Curry started getting, and then it just kind of started like wildfire fire. And I am just so humbled that everybody has put so much love into the Navajo Nation. We have hundreds of masks. We've got a trailer full of stuff, a truckload of stuff. And we've got people meeting us en route, elders, traditional elders that are driving big trucks to meet us. And it's amazing. And you know, with prayers like Teresa and Barbara and all these other amazing indigenous elders that we know, the prayer is the action. The prayer is the action, and we are the vehicles. And it takes a village. It takes a community. We would not be doing this alone. There's no way. And Teresa has been a big part of Indigenous Ways because A, she's Indigenous. She's Yaqui. She's from East LA. She's worked for a lot of nonprofits. Her last job, which went a couple of decades, I think, was at the Santa Fe Rape Crisis Center. She dealt with children. She worked in forensic. I mean, she did the work that most people won't do, don't want to do, and don't want to look at. This is Teresa. She's our board member. She's our prayer carrier. She's our pipe carrier. She's our sacred elder. She knows how to run sweats in the right way, in a good way. And we're so honored to have Teresa. Teresa, we love you so much. And we really look forward to your wisdom, your good thoughts, your good words, your good energy, your vibration. You mean everything to us, Teresa. We love you. Thank you. Everybody give it up for Teresa Candelaria. Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too. Well, here we are. I don't know how much wisdom I have, but I'm going to tell you a few things, I guess. But I want to start with copal. I had some copal burning earlier. I started it. I'm sending you a blessing, all of you out there. The world, the entire world. I want to thank Elena and Tosh for this opportunity. I am humbled, truly, truly humbled. And I also want to give a blessing from the ocean. I don't know, I haven't blown this caracol in quite a while, but I'm going to give it a try. We carry a lot of medicine in this world. The copal is ancient. It gives us many blessings, clears the air, helps us in our prayer. And the caracol, this particular one, was given to me by a boss, Barbara Goldman. She went to Hawaii. She knew I loved this caracol, and so she brought it back to me and had it blessed by a medicine person. Medicine goes all the way around, from here to there. And I didn't really know what I was going to talk about today. And I want to talk about prayer because of this this virus, this state of mind that we're in right now, this pandemic. And I've seen, probably seen some of my posts where I think the pandemic lays in the White House. Okay. I really talk better without my glasses on. Sometimes I see better without my glasses on, especially in ceremony. It's kind of interesting. But I am grateful. I'm grateful for my life, and I'm grateful for yours. I hope that everybody is staying safe and being healthy. And our prayer, the prayer, you know, we have churches that can't meet, can't get together, can't congregate. But I think we forget what the prayer is. And the prayer is happening every moment that we breathe. We are praying. Our life is a prayer. The way we walk on the earth is a prayer. Elena and Tosh and all the people that have helped them to gather all of those things to take them up to their nation, to the Navajo nation, who is suffering so much right now. That is their prayer. It is a very strong prayer. The Sundance is a strong prayer. What's going to happen during this pandemic with Sundancers? You're going to have to dance 6 feet apart. You're going to have to wear a mask. Going to look a little different. It's a small sacrifice to wear a mask. If we can help each other, continue to be healthy, live a good life, it's very little to ask to wear a mask. We don't go out without one. And we're elders, so we have to worry a little bit more. Some of you out there are elders too. I see a few names there that I know you're elders. Yeah, it's a hard time right now. I worry about my family in LA. Some who are in, my niece, my great niece, they're on watching right now. I'm really grateful for my family. I got to see them for my sister's 70th birthday party. I went to Los Angeles, which is really big for me since I travel very little. I'm a homebody. Oh, my computer says my battery's running low. I guess I better plug it in. Technology. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not very good with technology, but I try. So that prayer that we need to do every single day, that we might be conscious that we don't need to congregate to pray. You pray when the sun comes up, the sun goes down, when you're watering the plants, when you're feeding the animals, when you're taking care of your grandchildren. Everything is a prayer. The way we walk, the way we talk, the way we respect each other, it's all a prayer. If we can just hold that in that way and hold each other up, that's all we can do for each other. And I want to also talk about water. Water is one of my elements. I can't tell you how hard it's been not to go swimming. You know, this is a sideline. Just a few minutes ago, Barbara and I were talking about how everything is different and how we came to the realization that really, Barbara and I, our life is not much different. We are home buddies. We like to stay home. So we're not really missing much in a way. I know it's hard and people are clamoring to get out there and do this and that, but look at what people do. They go up to the Immerse and they trash it. They leave fires burning in a fire hazard zone in the forest. Something has happened to people about the focus that we need to have. I believe that everybody on this program here today has a focus, as we're here. We're here at this place called the Wisdom Circle, but you all have wisdom. We might have lived longer, but it doesn't mean that one's wisdom is greater than another's. We all have our wisdom. We all carry our medicine, whatever that medicine is for you. I have a hard time not talking. I have to use my hands. I've come out of ceremonies for various reasons, mostly because of abuse in some of those ceremonies. And I've been to plenty. I am grateful for every one of them. I am grateful for all the medicine people that have come into my life that have helped me get on this path. I'm one of those people that live those hard knock lives, right? I'm often say I am amazed that I am alive. Try to kill myself 3 times, didn't work. There was something else I was supposed to do. And so I'm here. I was a drunk, I'm not anymore. Those places of going so deep where you feel like killing yourself is a really dark place. And I'm grateful that I came out of those places. One of my major teachers that helped me was a woman named Erica Knowles, who actually lived in my neighborhood as I was growing up in East Los Angeles. She lived in Boyle Heights, which wasn't very far from East Los Angeles. And I met her in Sonoma County. And she helped me so much. I worked with her for well over 20 years. And the thing that I loved about her is that she didn't mess around. She told you how it was. And then if you had a problem, she would say, "Oh dear, how wonderful. What are you doing to help yourself?" It always came back to that. What are you doing to help yourself? What are you doing to help yourself? And she made me think about all of that. And she really helped me turn, I felt my way I see it is that she helped me turn myself inside out and helped me to get on this path to who I am right now. I like who I am right now. And one of the hardest exercises she gave me, and I challenge you all to do this, is to look in the mirror, really look at yourself and tell yourself what a beautiful person you are. What a strong person you are. And that you have purpose in this world. And I do believe that this path that I got on to with her really brought me back to Native America. I am a Yaqui. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles. I'm an urban Indian. I am grateful for the way that I was brought up because my family was matriarchal. I never knew any of my grandfathers. I spent a lot of time with my grandmothers and my great-grandmothers. My great-grandmother had a garden. She grew all kinds of herbs. If you had an ailment, she had the herb to fix it. I wonder what she would say about this illness that is going around today. We called her Abuelita. But one of the favorite things of mine to do with her was to go with her to church. And she went, she went to that really early mass with all the other little viejitas who had their little scarves, you could barely see their eyes, and their rosaries in their hands, and the creaking pews and the creaking floors of the church. There was just something really magical about that. And I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to spend time with my great grandmother and my grandmother, my great aunt. They had a great influence on me. To this day, I still have a comal that only tortillas can be heated on it, because only tortillas were ever heated on it. And it's pretty old now. If I'm 75, that pan must be older than that at this time. And I cherish it. It's a lot to be grateful for, even in this pandemic. When I think about it, I try not to be in fear. Tasha and Elena had a band on a concert night one night called Disappear Fear. I think they're coming again pretty soon. And they had bumper stickers in rainbow colors that said Disappear Fear. And I get more compliments on that bumper sticker than I ever have ever had for any bumper sticker. Hey, I like your bumper sticker, Disappear Fear. We can't live. It's not helpful. We have to live in the light. We have to shine our light. That's what the world needs right now. It needs every one of us to shine that light that we carry within us. To shine the light that we have within us. That's what's going to help us get through this hard time. That and the way we walk, the way we pray, the way we treat each other. I have allergies, but I'm also emotional, so I cry a lot. Some of you know that about me. But so the water, when I was thinking about this pandemic, I was thinking why this was happening. And I think it was in a dream state that I woke up and I thought, oh my God, the mother gets to breathe. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. The mother, this pandemic has shut everything down, every little thing, every industry, every workplace, every little thing shut down. And the air started clearing up and the waters still are clearing up and you could see the sky clearer. She's taking a breath of fresh air. She needed it, the Mother Earth. She really needed it. And I'm grateful for the place that I live because I have a fairly big enough yard. Of course, we don't cover it with a lot of plants because we live in the desert. And so we have to be careful about how we use the water. But Barbara grows a garden, we grow food. We get to eat it. We're lucky. Some of you are too. That's the prayer, right? Grow food, feed each other. Respect the earth, respect the mother, respect the water. I know what it's like with the water. I've been in places where I've hauled water for over 20 years, different places where there was no plumbing. I feel for the Navajo Nation right now, not having running water. That's a hard, hard life. But you have a different respect for water when you have to haul it, when there's a little of it. I water the indoor plants and I use very little water to do it because I keep recycling it from one plant to another. And I have a lot of plants in the house. I love them. Water is life. You can't live without it. drink a lot of it during this hard time. We need to drink a lot of water. I drink tons of it. But I haven't been able to swim, and as a result, because of this pandemic and the gym is closed and the pool is closed and the places that I like to swim at are closed. So I'm more achy than ever in my joints because that swimming was keeping me active, keeping me moving, keeping me grooving. I think some of my strongest prayers have been in the water. As I swim laps, I'm in the water for anywhere from 35 to 45 minutes, going back and forth. And as I go back and forth, I pray. And I think some of my strongest prayers have been in the water. It's hard to decide where the strongest prayers are. Were they at Sundance? Were they in the sweat lodge? Were they loading the pipe? Were they swimming in water? I don't know. It's a hard thing, right? Because everything is a prayer. If you take anything away from this today, I hope you take that everything we do in our life, every way we interact with each other, all of it is a prayer. I used to be a nun. And in those days, I think that's where I learned that everything is a prayer. Nuns pray 24/7, pretty much. It was a hard life. There were too many rules and I couldn't adhere to all of them, so I left. But I love the praying. I love the prayer. I love the Gregorian chant. I loved going to the chapel at sunrise and watching the stained glass windows change into their daytime colors. It was beautiful. The chanting was beautiful. That part of it, I just really loved. And I think I took that from there. It's also the place where I learned how to drink. What a contradiction. But it was a strong prayer. And I was glad that I did that. I was happy that I ended up doing that in my life. It was good. And I know that all of your prayers are equally as strong. This prayer of this signer here signing so that the hearing impaired can hear. And I thank them for that. That beautiful work. Oh, there's another one. Another one praying. So I want to talk more about water since I can't swim. I'm using the shower a lot more. Sometimes we take water for granted. Water is up there with prayer. All the time, all the time. I use it for cleansing. I don't, sometimes we get in the shower, especially if we work, have to go to work. We get in the shower, we take a shower, we make sure we look good, and then we go off to work. I've always used water in my work, especially with the children. I've heard some really horrendous stories from children. I've been thinking about them a lot, them and their mothers who have to suffer child abuse or domestic violence during this pandemic, and they're in the houses with the people that hurt them. I've been praying for them because that's a hard situation. Can't call for help. The schools are often the safest place for children. But when I talked to them, I always had water on the table. Water, a glass of water for the child and a glass of water for me. And when I felt that kid was having a hard time talking to me, I would take a drink of water, and then the kid would take a drink of water, and we would continue a very hard conversation. because my job was to get every detail of what happened to them. And they trusted me to tell me those things. I was a safe person because I wasn't a relative. I wasn't a friend of the family. I was just a stranger. And possibly the first adult that would listen to their story and not have a reaction, but actually wanted to hear more. Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. And then what happened? I think of those children not being able to go to school, which oftentimes is their safe haven. So we all have to pray for them and pray for those mothers that are stuck in those situations, not by their own doing. They need our prayers and they need our light. We have to keep sending that to them. And I just love children. I have very talented, great nephews and nieces. I have a great niece that might be watching right now with my niece, Kathy, her granddaughter, Bella. She plays the piano and sings. She's taking singing lessons. You should hear her play the piano. It's amazing. And they could teach you a lot about technology. They're so savvy. They're beautiful. I got to meet them when I was in LA, and I loved every moment of it. They're smart. They have insight. They have such joy that they bring. Makes you want to dance. And they love to dance. I know some of you have grandkids, nephews, nieces. Children get underestimated about what they're able to understand. We don't give them enough credit. Kids were able to talk to me openly and tell me everything because they knew I wasn't a phony. No phony baloney here. Just a straight shooter. Somebody who's interested. Somebody wants to plug them into the services they need to get help. And one of the amazing things for me, the payback for talking to children, it wasn't justice, because justice sucks for these children. Rarely do their abusers go to jail. But the payback for me was a survey that I developed for children that asked a simple question, a couple of them. What did you feel like before you came here? And what did you feel like after? Two important questions. The first one for most of the children was sad, upset that I had to be here, grumpy, things of that sort. But the responses for how did you feel after were a blessing. That finally somebody listened to me, that I got to tell my story, that I told everything, that it felt good to get it off my chest. They just needed the support to do it. And that, to me, was the gift, that answer. How did you feel after you left, after we were done? That was a blessing. And after each family, because I worked in a place where they let me be who I am, so I was able to have an altar, and I was able to bring sage, mostly copal, Palo Santo, because it wasn't so smoky, so it wouldn't set off the alarms, to cleanse the interview room, to cleanse the waiting room, so that when the next family came in, it was a new energy when they came in the door. Something new was there to greet them. When it was multiple kids, I had to do that after each interview. So sometimes I had to interview maybe a family of kids, like 3 or 4 kids at a time. And I have to do that one at a time. But after each interview, I would go to the bathroom and wet my face. Water, water, because it changes energy. Water changes the energy. Wash my hands, wash my face, go back and do another interview. Became routine. Part of what I did for 15 years. And that's how I met Tosh. She brought in a woman that needed help, that needed an interpreter, a sign language interpreter. And so that's how I met Tosh. And I'm happy to be part of the organization, the work that they do. Look at what they're doing. They're going up to their nation, Navajo Nation, to help their people. Their prayer is a strong prayer. And we have to pray for them to be safe. It's good. And not live in fear. Be happy. My life hasn't changed that much with this pandemic. I go shopping really early in the morning now because it's the cleanest time in the store. But I don't go every day like I used to before. Oh, I need this, so I gotta go. No, stay home more. But I love my home, so I'm happy. Love my dog. Love the birds. Okay. I think that's all I have to say about those things. But I do want to read a story. It's a kid's story. It's my very favorite story. And it fits this time that we're in. And I think it was written by a guy named Tommy DePaula. And it's a story about Texas, which I'm not crazy about Texas, but my father and my grandmother were from Texas. Mm-hmm. But I have to put my glasses on just in case. I know this story pretty much by heart, but I have the book in front of me in case. I haven't done this story in quite a while, but I used to know it by heart. Anyway, let me get my drum here. Great Spirit, the land is dying. The people are dying too. This is a little too far for me, so I'm going to bring it a little closer. Here we go. Okay. This is what the dancers were singing, the long line of dancers. Tell us what we have to do. Tell us what we have done to anger you, great spirits. End the drought. Save your people. Tell us what we must do so you will, send the rain that would bring back the life to this land and to our people. For 3 days, the dancers danced to the sound of the drum. And for 3 days, the people watched and waited. And even though the hard winter had come and gone, no healing rain came. In a famine, the people that suffer the most are the very young and the very old. Among the few children that were left was a small girl. She was named the one, she who is alone. She sat by herself watching the dancers and in her lap going to try this without reading it. In her lap, she held a doll that was made of buckskin. The eyes and her nose and her mouth were colored by the berries, the juice of the berries. I think I may have this in the wrong place. Well, technical difficulties. Here we go. Maybe this will help. Nothing is perfect, but it is the way it is supposed to be. Okay. So the dress of the doll was made of buckskin. Her nose and her mouth and lips were colored with berries, the juice for the berries. And she wore a beaded leggings on her legs and a belt of polished bone. And on her head, she wore blue feathers, the kind that came from the bird that went, ja, ja, ja. She loved her doll very much. So soon, she who walks alone said to her doll, the medicine man will go up the hill alone, up to the top of the hill, to listen for the words of the great spirits. Then we will know what we need to do so that once more the rains will come and the earth will be green and the buffalo will be plenty and the people will be rich again. As she talked, she thought of her mother who made the doll, and she thought of her father who brought the blue feathers for the doll's hair. And she thought of her grandmother and her grandfather. Oh, here's my dog. She came to say hello. She thought of her grandmother and her grandfather, who she never knew. They were all like shadows. It seemed long ago that they had died from the famine. The people had named her and cared for her. The warrior doll was the only thing she had left from those long ago days. The sun is setting, the runner said as he came into the camp. The medicine man is coming down from the hill, is returning. And the people gathered in a circle, and the medicine man spoke. I've heard the words of the Great Spirit, he said. The people have become selfish. For years, they have taken from the earth without giving anything back. The Great Spirits say the people must sacrifice. We must make a burnt offering. Of the most valued possessions among us. The ashes of the offerings shall be scattered in the four directions where the four winds live. when the sacrifice is made, drought and famine will cease to be. Life will be restored to the earth and to the people. The people sang. Oh, they love to sing. They sang and thanked the great spirits for telling them what they must do. As people were walking home, you heard one warrior say, "I don't think the great spirits want my brand new bow and arrow." And a woman that was walking with him said, "Oh, I don't think he wants, this great spirits want my special blanket." As everyone went back to their teepees to talk and think over what the great spirits had asked of them. Oh man, do I have to give up my precious belongings? Oh no, I don't think so. Everyone. That is except she who is alone. She held her doll tightly in her heart. "You," she said, looking at the doll, "you are my most valued possession. It is you the great spirits want." And she knew what she must do. As the council fires died and everybody went to their teepees and they were closing their flaps for the night, the small girl returned to her teepee where she slept to wait. The night outside was still except for the distant sound of the night bird with the red wings. Oh, sounds like a red-winged blackbird, huh? Soon everyone in the teepee was asleep, except she who is alone. Under the arches of the teepee, and under the ashes of the teepee, there was one stick still glowing, and she took it and quietly crept out into the night. She ran to the top of the hill where the great spirits had spoken to the medicine man. Stars filled the sky, but there was no moon. "Oh, great spirits," she who is alone said, "oh, great spirits, here's my warrior doll. It is the only thing I have for my family who died in this famine. It is my most precious possession. Please, great spirits, accept it." Then, gathering twigs, she started a fire with the glowing fire stick. The small girl watched as the twigs began to catch the flame. She thought of her grandfather and her grandmother, her mother and her father, and all the people, their suffering, their hunger. And before she could change her mind, she threw the doll into the fire. She watched until the flames died down and the ashes had grown cold. Then, scooping up a handful, she who is alone scattered the ashes to the home of the four directions, the home of the winds, the north, the east, the south, and the west. And there she fell asleep until the light of the morning sun woke her up. She looked out over the hill, and stretching out from all sides where the ashes had fallen, the ground was covered with flowers, beautiful flowers, as blue as the feathers in the doll's hair. As blue from that bird that says, ah, ah, ah. When the people came out of their teepees, they couldn't believe their eyes. They gathered on the hill with She Who Is Alone to look at the miraculous sight. There was no doubt about it. The flowers were a sign of forgiveness from the great spirits. And the people sang and danced. Oh, yeah, there was a big line. Yeah, hey, 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 hey. They sang and they danced to thank the great spirits. A warm rain began to fall, and the land began to grow again, to live again from that day on. From that day on, the little girl was changed. Her name was changed to the one who dearly loved her people. And every spring, the great spirits remember the sacrifice of this little girl, and fill the hills and valleys of the land, now called Texas, with the beautiful blue flowers. Even to this day, that's the story of the legend of the blue bonnet. It's also, the blue bonnet is also known as lupin, which I think grows some parts of New Mexico, but I'm not sure of that. And the reason I love this story is because it really fits today. When I think about the sacrifices of all the EMTs and all the first responders, which, by the way, I have several in my family that are fire people, police officers, EMT workers, I am so grateful. They are still healthy and they are doing a service for us. They are sacrificing for their people. They are giving up things for their people. And the hunger and the dying that's going on right now. This story was written in like 1989 or something like that. It's really old. I've known it for a long time. I'm sorry I was choppy at reading it, but I think you get the gist of it. It's the little things. It's the little things that we sacrifice that is for the greater good, for the people, for our people, for you and me. We know that. Some of you connected to the Sundance are here. We know what we dance for. I danced for many, many years, and my dance was always for the children, because that's who I worked with. And that's who touched my heart. Children touched my heart. I can go to a theater, you know how school plays and things like that, and I don't even have to know any one of the children that are performing, and my heart gets full, and I cry because they're so beautiful, and we underestimate them. Look at this little one. Her only possession was her doll, and she was willing to give it up for her people. It's not much to ask to wear a mask for your people. So I hope we can do that. We can do it together. We can pray every day, every moment. I have a friend that's watching, that's Rita Rue. She has a flower garden that's amazing. I'm sure she grows food too, because she loves to eat. Beautiful, a beautiful prayer. Everything we do is a prayer. Drink lots of water, be safe, stay healthy. And I do have one more thing I want to read, because I saw Buffy St. Marie do something on the screen the other day, and I wanted to embark her words. I want to leave you with her words. Hold your head up. Lift up your heart. Keep playing. Keep praying. And carry it on. And pass it on to everybody you meet. To all of you, thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this evening. Be safe and stay healthy. Love you.
We love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody, you can come on in, say hi to Teresa. Everybody undo your video screens.
Just before, if you need interpreting services, go to Zol is our ASL interpreter. And great to see everyone on. If you're having trouble, come and swing background. But let's give it up for the beautiful Teresa.
Okay, I want to say some things real quick. I'm just going to say, Teresa, you filled my heart tonight. You always do. You are our rock. You are our rock in so many ways, and thank you so much. And I want to give it up for our interpreters, Chris and Zoel. They rocked it tonight together. They did a fabulous job as a team. We love you, and it's good to see all of you there out here tonight who is meant to be with us tonight. We want everybody to stay safe. Thank you for being a part of Indigenous Ways, and we will keep you posted on our trip. Our truck is packed up and ready to go. We're going to take it off about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, so we're really, really excited. So would anybody like to talk to Teresa?
Just before we go into Teresa and people are coming in, I just want to do a shout out because we had some people in from Australia and New Zealand on our Facebook pages. So I want to give a shout out to Kathy Baxter, Darcy Bolton up there in far north Queensland. Thanks for tuning in. Go to our website if you want to come in through the Zoom where we'll have an interactive thing. Also a shout out and kia ora tātou te Rawiri and also Darwin Vincent, who are in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Thanks for tuning in through those pages. And Shirley Johns, who is out there in Michigan.
Yeah, Shirley.
Michigan.
Shirley.
Who,
All right,
out
Shirley.
there. Thanks for tuning in, sending lots of love to you out in our social networks. I just want to quickly go through this. All of you know about what we're doing, Indigenous Virtual Ways, free events, all ASL interpreter. Today is Wednesday, Wisdom Circle. Fridays, we've got the concert series. And then Teresa was talking about the Disappear Fair. Well, come and beam back in this Friday, 22nd.
All right.
At 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We've got the beautiful Sonia from Disappear Fair, who will be doing concert here. You can come in through our Facebook, all our internet pages or social network pages. And then on Wednesday, here, same time next week, we will have the beautiful Terry Vincent, who is a deaf teacher at the community college. She's going to come in, teach about deaf history, Native, as well as sign language. So hold on, make sure you come here. All the things are the same now. Also, we've got, as you know, who's coming up, and then we're also planning for June here at our electronics. But thanks everyone for tuning in and being with us. Oh, and then there's our donate page that you all know about as well. But really appreciate everyone and being here. And did anyone want to say anything? And then while you're thinking of something to say, when we're done, Teresa, if this is okay, we're going to get you to pray us all out as a collective. And I'm also going to go around because I know some people have trouble turning their cameras on. So if you're in Zoom, if you see a little thing come on and you don't want to come on, just ignore it. And if you do, that's your opportunity to get on. But does anyone want to say anything? Don't forget to unmute you.
Or if you sign, we got interpreters that are on standby. We got Chris who can voice. So if you want to sign, that's fine too.
Thank you, Teresa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I liked hearing what you had to say, and I liked seeing you. I've never seen you before, except many years ago.
Wow.
Yes, it's been many years since.
Are you in P-Town?
Yes. So
All right.
I met you in the early or I think late 80s. Yes.
Yes, a long time ago.
Yes. And so I'm so happy to see you again and to hear what you have to say and to get to know you a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you
meaningful.
for being here.
And love you, Teresa. It's good to see your face.
Who's that, Rita?
That's me, yeah. And yeah, I do have a lot of vegetables in the garden. There's a lot
I'm
of
sure.
food going out there, a lot of fruit trees. We give a lot of food away.
Good.
Oh, and this is my partner, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
We'd love to meet you.
I've
Hi,
heard
Susan.
something about you.
Thank you. Thank you for being present.
Love to you and Barbara.
Thank you. Stay healthy.
You too.
Thank you for your wisdom, Teresa. It's
Hey,
Willow.
Willow.
Hey, we're growing vegetables too, and food and flowers. And I love the joy you experience with children and the depth of your relationship with children. It's really beautiful. And I also would go to any children's concert, even if I don't know any of the kids. Love it, love it. And but thank you for the depth of your spirit and the beauty of blessing us with your wisdom tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Terry, did you want to say something? Chris, can you see TV?
This is Terry speaking. Yes, hi. I only got to see the last 15 minutes of it. I'm so sorry. I had another impromptu meeting that came up, but I would like to ask how everyone's doing. How are you?
Good.
TV will be our wonderful presenter next Wednesday with her deaf history and ASL teaching.
Yeah, she's going to teach us the foundation of ASL, everybody. So please spread the word.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready to say good night now, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We love you. We'll keep you posted. Caleb, stay safe out there, okay? We love you, Caleb.
And we'll take all of you when we're going up to the res tomorrow. Thank you again for your contributions, as Teresa was saying, and your prayers. Thank you, everyone that supported. We've got over $3,000 from last Wednesday. So thank you with all the foods and supplies. And with that, Teresa, would you like to bless us all out?
Sure.
Oh, great spirit. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this breath. I ask your blessings on this world, great spirit. I ask your blessings on all the people that are suffering. Bring them some kind of solace. Bless all the children, great spirit. May they live to be strong, and may they live to have a cleaner earth. Bless all those people in government, great spirit. From the very top, even though sometimes you know how hard it is for me to pray for the administration that we are in right now. Bless them, great spirit. Help them to find their heart, to find their humanity. Bless all of them. I ask blessings on these two wonderful women that are making that journey tomorrow to the Navajo Nation. Bless them, bless their journey. Give them a safe trip there and back, great spirit. Ask blessings for all the people that have lost loved ones. They're not lost, great spirit. We know where they are. They're with you. They're dancing with you, great spirit. You know exactly where they are. Bless their hearts. Bless their relatives that were not able to be with them when they transitioned to your spirit world. Bless all of their hearts, their aching hearts. so many in this world today, Great Spirit. But we ask you to have us remember how to pray, to remember to listen to the birds, to listen to the plants, to listen to those creepy crawlers, to listen to some two-leggeds. Bless everyone, everywhere, Great Spirit. And let us shine our light into the world and make it a brighter place, and that we may not live in fear. Omitakoyasi.
Yeah, Isabel, thank you very much, Teresa.
Thank you, each and every one of you, and all my relatives from LA that were listening and watching. I love you all very much.
Me too.
Love you, everybody. Love you, Missy.
Love you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll look forward to seeing you on Friday with Sonia. Beautiful concert. Same channel as it is where we are here. Other than that, be safe, as Teresa said, and blessings, blessings, blessings.
And I think everybody can stream on your Facebook. So talk to Elena about that technological stuff. And thank you, Chris, for helping us troubleshoot and get some of this stuff together. Our beautiful interpreter has his own VRI business in California where he runs his own show and he has no boss. He's the boss. He serves deaf community and he comes from a deaf father from Mexico. So he's a CODA, child of deaf adult. We're very honored to have Chris. And Zoel is an amazing indigenous spirit that was raised in ceremony. So you can
There
tell
she
by
is.
her writing that she knows how to culturally, contextually put it down for the indigenous ways. So thank you very much. We love you all and have a great night. We'll see you next week, Terry Vincent, and we love you. Take care, Caleb. Everybody
Thanks,
be safe.
Amber.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Rita and Susan. Great to see you all. Thanks, Australia.
Love you, Shell.
Thanks.